today at www.sandhills.jobs.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, deal ends June 14th. Join now, online or at your local PF Club.
See Home Club for details.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Gaina Trucking is hiring for heavy equipment operators and a heavy equipment mechanic. Working at Gaina Trucking is a great career with excellent team culture, with benefit package including competitive pay based on experience, health, vision, and dental insurance, and a 401k plan. If you're looking for a new job as a heavy equipment operator or mechanic, apply online at GainaTrucking.com or call 402-794-5000. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking.
Play ball!
Looking for the ultimate change-up from the typical family night? How about a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers? Then unleash the fun at Haymarket Park with an action-packed, thrilling season of Salt Dogs baseball. Choose from 50 home games now through August with daily and weekly specials your whole pack can enjoy, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the magic and the excitement.
Strike three, you're out!
Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today. Unleash the fun.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
On the block with Strick and Austin.
When you look at Nebraska baseball, I mean, a 40-win season, best pitching in the Big Ten, above average offense for the Big Ten. You go to regionals, far and away the best pitching staff, but a good half a run below even the third worst offense in that regional. When you look at Nebraska baseball, is that a program that needs to improve the pitching first or the lineup first to be able to make more of a dent in the postseason?
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Play ball!
Looking for the ultimate change-up from the typical family night? How about a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers? Then unleash the fun at Haymarket Park with an action-packed, thrilling season of Salt Dogs baseball. Choose from 50 home games now through August with daily and weekly specials your whole pack can enjoy, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the magic and the excitement.
Strike three, you're out!
Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today. Unleash the fun.
This is Bree Fansteel, local race car driver. Join me and James Rowland every Sunday at 7 p.m. for The Finish Line, where we discuss off-road, on-road, and sometimes next-to-the-road racing on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? Jay Foreman, Harrison here on the ones and twos. We're Old School, coming at you live, 1040 O Street. Brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 168th and Maple. Hot, beautiful day here, Harris. Hot.
Understatement.
Hot and humid. But you know what? Just a few months ago, we were complaining about record low temp, so we'll battle through the heat. But anyway, we got a short segment, and then about 4:30, we're going to have Dr. Razan come in from Advanced Medical Imaging. We got some, obviously, with the NBA playoffs and different injuries through whether it's the Stanley Cup playoffs or obviously football, and then obviously NBA playoffs. Different injuries pop up. So some interesting ones that come up. Actually, every time either himself or Dr. Fenn comes in. And then we'll top of the 5 o'clock hour talk a little bit recruiting about around this time. It's camp time, but more importantly, what the team needs to do. But then also we'll dive into NBA offseason. I think that'd be good, and NFL offseason. You got some guys that are holding out, what it means, and give the perspective from inside the locker room, and then also from a business perspective, what the purpose is and how can it serve the player, obviously. In the best possible ways to obviously get what they want and obviously get paid. So one big subject, Harrison, we haven't been able to, at least in old school, really address is my Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, I'm curious how you feel. I got Burlington's word on it.
First it was JJ Redick, and everybody was saying it's LeBron's team, and they're on a podcast, and it's been in the works for however long the podcast started, and turns out JJ Redick just was at the NBA Combine, and they just kind of had an hour meet and greet, just kind of feel it out, him and Rob Pelinka, and the word was he withdrew his name. And I thought maybe it's because he just wanted to be if you're going to talk to me, I need to be the number one candidate. But then obviously out of nowhere came Dan Hurley.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will tell you, I love Dan Hurley. I like the way he coaches. I like his passion. He's funny, and I think I like his intensity. I think he actually would serve some of the Los Angeles Lakers nation some good. But as I started to think about it, it was never an option.
He leveraged the Lakers for some extra cash is what happened.
I think the Lakers called, and the Lakers were never serious. And here's why I know they were never serious. It'd be okay. Here's an example. If somebody somebody would call me and say, "I want you to come, work across the street at X station," and you're paying me, you're not paying me top 2 or 3 money to leave a great situation, or top 2 money, then I know you're not serious. You were trying to offer this man like top 6 coaches like salary, and you going out to Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually not top 6 coaches salary. It's actually less because it's expensive to live out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to take your family literally from Connecticut to Los Angeles. It couldn't be a farther commute. I don't care if you're on a private jet. It's still 4 hours.
Yeah. And he's got all the power at UConn, right? He's not listening to anybody at UConn. That's why I never thought it was going to happen. Because now, especially with the transfer portal era, you're not really locked in. If you're okay with NIL and recruiting players like that, you're not locked into situations. And if you have a room where nobody's going to tell you no, I mean, he's got total control at UConn. So that's why I don't think he'd really give that up. Especially, like I said, with the pay, he's getting paid pretty damn good over there.
It stretches a lot far. I think that he would have left if they were serious. I think for all those factors that you just talked about, that's what goes into your offer. It has to. You have to. So I got to overpay to get you. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And you tried to just do the market value. You weren't serious. And the reason why I know they weren't serious because they did the Dog and Pony show, and I think they probably had an interview with him, probably flew him out or did whatever, which probably wasn't the best thing because he's like, dang, this is a long flight. We ate 2 square meals and had snacks. You get out all bloated. You get off his gluttony. Now you got the itis.
Yeah, you know, you're flying private, not commercial.
Right. Even if you're flying private, you 2 square meals. You 2 square meals in and some snacks and a couple of drinks. It's gluttony. I don't want to meet with you after that. I want to take a nap, right? But I think the Lakers did it to try to drum up and spark some interest of some other candidates. I don't think they were sick because if they were, here's what I know about what I've heard from different coaches, negotiate. If they want you enough, they're gonna pay for it. Number 2, and number 1, first of all, they're gonna come and they're gonna know what kind of your number is because they've already contacted your agent. You're not just showing up and say, okay, let's see what we can negotiate here. You called him. He didn't call you.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to call you. So that's exactly. It's no different when Houston Nutt came up here. This is before your time. You know who Houston Nutt is?
I've seen references on Twitter. Definitely not during my time.
He was an Arkansas coach.
Mm-hmm.
came up here, got off the plane, probably had him a Runza, couple beers, and probably went over to Misty's, and then went right back home and had a fat paycheck. That's exactly what Dan Hurley did. And I do say this though, if I was his agent or his friend or whatever, I said you have to be a little wary of. You keep telling the NBA no. That's no different than Kentucky. You told Kentucky no. That's a professional franchise. I mean, it's a blue blood. These other jobs of like North Carolina, and they're not coming open, man. Like, it might not time out with you. So you can't always say no, but I also think that's a smart decision not to even entertain the Lakers, because I think what he would want to do would be kind of like Malone with Denver, and because they run a lot of sets, develop, obviously draft, free agent, a lot of players, and you have two guys. Well, obviously you have Anthony Davis potentially in his prime, and they got LeBron James, one of the iconic figures ever to play in the NBA, and they don't have a lot of draft capital.
No. And you don't know where LeBron's going to be, if you're going to have him or not.
Right. I think LeBron would tighten up with him. I think he would, because he's played for a coach like that. And I think LeBron, he knows that. I think the respect is there. I just don't know if the Lakers are truly winning. This lets me know the Lakers aren't truly winning or trying to win. They're thinking about it in like, I call it like Halloween. They're dressing up and playing like they are, but they really aren't out there doing it. Because if you really wanted Dan Hurley, he would be introduced as your coach. It'd be a foregone conclusion.
I sometimes feel like I don't think they know what they're doing, what they're trying to get out of it. It's just kind of been rough with Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka. They've had a rough run here. Like, they've had great pieces. They got the Mickey Mouse title. But other than that, it's been pretty rough after that.
It has not been. Well, you know who they need. If they really wanted Dan Hurley, you know who could have closed the deal?
Trying to think.
The Magic, man. Magic Johnson could have, but he left the Lakers.
He put that franchise in a tough spot too. I mean, he was the guy saying we're gonna have Lonzo Ball's jerseys hanging in the rafters.
Well, he thought he was.
He thought, but that's the worst thing. He could use some training.
He got the okey doke ran on him by LeVar Ball. You're allowed one mess up. You're allowed one mess up, and I think sometimes he was so fixated on Ball. And I think he was letting his heart and eyes, because he knows how important the point guard could be to the franchise, that he talked himself into it and didn't let his mind. That's a learning experience.
Yeah, he was watching the mixtapes before sleep.
Right.
He was sold 100%.
And he was listening to his dad, who was right down there. So it was, and there was a lot of pressure. And it just didn't work out. So I think but I'm telling you, the fact that he left, the way he did,
it was quick.
It was like, remember, it was like they played Portland, and they were like, "Oh, you gonna be there on Monday?" He's like, "I ain't gonna be there."
We weren't even in the midseason yet.
No,
I don't think.
because if you go back to Magic got interviews, he talked about when he was trying to communicate. The deal was that he could still be a businessman and help with big decisions. Well, then Rob Pelinka was like, "Oh, he ain't around enough." Well, that was never the deal. He somehow caught wind. I guess Rob Pelinka actually CC'd on him, and then blind CC'd on him, and there was whatever he did. He caught wind of the emails. So he's like, "I'm out of here." But him leaving, you got to think, when he left the Lakers, he left James Worthy, he left Kareem, because they're involved in James Worthy does they're like analysts, and Kareem's ambassador, and all Byron Scott and all those guys. So that's how it lets you know how bad it is. They're playing dress up.
I believe it. The ownership from top, I mean, really, since we've gotten to that era of Jeannie Buss, I'll give her a little bit of slack. That's one of the toughest franchise to take over. It's been a pretty bumpy ride ever since, trying to figure out what everybody's roles are in it and with the roster around it. Outside of kind of getting the sweepstakes, you were more lucky to have LeBron just want to go to LA than you were.
But who got LeBron to go to LA? The Magic Man. And LeBron gave him a championship. Also, let's not forget, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But the only reason Rob Pelinka is in that position is because Kobe said, "I want my agent to be the GM." So there's plenty of blame to go around. But right now they are spinning. Some of the guys that they're talking about hiring, you might as well just kept Darvin Ham.
I've always kind of hated the coaching carousel in the NBA is a little bit ridiculous at times with these coaches going and flying around.
You might as well hire Frank Vogel back.
Seriously, I just thought they never should have got rid of Frank Vogel. He wins you the championship. That you absolutely made the moves worth it. That risky moves you talked about, the picks, everything they gave away, makes it worth it. And then it has a couple bad seasons because your two star players, and AD and LeBron James, are on and off the court. And then you can them.
And you got rid of your glue players. You got rid of
Alex Caruso was gone.
Right. You got let Caruso go all at once. The guys that could hold the fort down.
JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, all the guys that helped you win that title, you didn't bring back.
KCP too.
Yeah.
And those guys, it's no different than Denver. What's the difference? They let Brown go and they let Jeff Green go. That's how you win championship, because you know your top-notch players are going to perform, right? Generally, except for your Karl Anthony Towns, and then you need your nuts and bolts guys to step up as well. You take the nuts and bolts guy, you're still left out there stuck on stupid. But we're going to take a quick break. Come back. I think Dr. Razdan is here. We're going to talk about calf injuries. Hamstring injury. You ever pulled a hamstring?
Oh yeah, brutal. Senior year football player.
All right, well, we're gonna find out why and how you did it, and if you could have recovered faster. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. Harrison
Have me thinking.
Yeah, you gonna have you thinking. I'm just playing mind games with you. We're gonna take a quick break. Jay Foreman, Old School, along with Harrison. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you or someone you love struggling with substance use? The Bridge Behavioral Health in Lincoln offers outpatient therapy for those 19 and over. The Bridge is conveniently located in the South Haymarket and near city bus lines. With payment options through insurance and a sliding fee scale, services are available for any adult 19 and over seeking help. Call 402-477-3951 to learn more or schedule your appointment today. The Bridge Behavioral Health is a local substance use treatment facility offering hope and a solid foundation for recovery through substance use treatment and behavioral health interventions.
And that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours. And our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish all the dads out there a happy Father's Day. We hope that everyone is able to show how much they care for and respect the dads in their life for this weekend especially, but in everyday life too. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodmen is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodmen representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodmen of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador online at prg-ne.com.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Play ball! Looking for the ultimate change-up from the typical family night? How about a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers? Then unleash the fun at Haymarket Park with an action-packed, thrilling season of Salt Dogs baseball. Choose from 50 home games now through August with daily and weekly specials your whole pack can enjoy, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the magic and the excitement. Strike 3, you're out! Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today. Unleash the fun.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Harrison, old school. We got Dr. Razdan in here from Advanced Medical Imaging. We got he's doing the hardest thing of his day. He does surgeries and everything, and he's a doctor putting on these headphones. Here, let me get this one. There you go. Headphones. It's good to have him come in. Obviously, with the NBA Finals and Porzingis out. There you go.
Yeah, it ain't working. Look at this.
Oh,
jeez. There you go.
See there? It's customer service.
There you
right?
go.
You can clip that here. But with Porzingis, he originally had a calf injury and or ankle injury calf. It's like now he has a unique injury according to him. But we're going to talk about hamstrings first.
Sure.
And I have experience with a hamstring pull. I always thought that, Doak Ostergaard was our trainer. He made me miss spring break once because I had we tested out for the pros. And I swear when I'd never pulled a hammy before, but when this bad boy twinged, I literally face planted and got turf burn on my face. But I always think it's very unique when I didn't know the difference because I only had one. When I got to the pros, I remember I had a older veteran that kind of would mentor me through it. And he's like, "This is the one you want. This is the one you don't want." And it's high grade, or high or low, which is high is like up towards your butt cheek and low is more towards your knee. And then they have a mid, right?
Yep.
Okay. So for our listeners out there, and since it's starting to become hot and humid and if you don't hydrate and you try to run up a hill, and try to go into second or third or fourth gear and that hammy starts to twinge, you're going to know which one. So when you call into the emergency room and say you need some help, you can say, I got low grade. Well, anyways, Doc, I want you to explain the difference between all three and which ones, like I texted you, which one do you not want, which is one that can linger or the one that you possibly could make, you know, say I'm in a playoff game and we got a bye week and the one that could possibly answer the bell.
Well, I mean, I think the best way to look at it, there's two kind of classifications. One is whether it's high or whether it's low.
Right.
And then there's that out of those classifications, then there's low grade, mid grade, and high grade, or grade 1, grade 2, grade 3.
Right.
The one that you don't want is the one that's up closer to the pelvis or the groin, where those muscles attach. And you know, the hamstrings are the flexors, right? They flex your knee, right? That's the thing. And where they attach up near the pelvis, if that gets torn or gets avulsed, that thing lingers. That thing lingers a long time. Now, you know, and then when I told you about the low, mid, high, or low, mid, and severe, the low grade ones, you can get back. People rest those for 3 to 5 days and they get back to it. That's okay. But the high grade ones, that grade 3, those things can go, you need recovery at least 6 to 8 weeks or 8 to 12 weeks.
Right. Those are months.
Those are months. And, you know, what's Tyrese? Tyrese came back for the Pacers. Didn't he have he had like a hamstring injury and they brought him back too quick.
Yeah.
And then he re-injured it right away.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did.
And I think I think his was a grade 2. I don't remember exactly. And I think they brought him back too quick. But anyway, I mean, the one you don't want, I think we were talking about this earlier, the one up higher, closer to your pelvis.
Right.
And the other one you don't want is anywhere but totally avulsed one, right?
Right.
Hamstrings are a series of 3 muscles. I'm not going to get too technical here, but where they attach, if they break off that attachment, it's called an avulsion.
Right.
That's surgery.
Right.
The rest of them are really, rehab, all that kind of stuff.
And it seemed, now granted, I think people probably didn't know back in the 70s if they had a avulsed hamstring or not, but I think it's more prevalent now.
It is because
am I right?
Yeah,
by the numbers.
What is that? 53 NFL teams in the league. 53?
They've had hamstring surgeries.
There is, I think there was a crazy statistic I read. It was like 97% of those 53 teams have had at least one hamstring injury every year, and usually happens at practice.
Right.
Of more than anything else, and most of the time it's wide receivers and defensive backs.
Right, and that's just because of. Is that an overwork injury, or is that a long speed, like where you gotta go, like where you gotta change from back pedal sprint, or I'm trying to run past the DB?
Combination of both, but most typically it's because they didn't stretch long enough. They didn't. And you'd be surprised. These are pro athletes, right? They should know, but it's most of the time, like you mentioned earlier, people are dehydrated. Maybe they didn't stretch long enough, and then they go quick bursts, quick burst speeds. Defensive backs, quick burst speeds. Wide receivers trying to accelerate too fast, and then snap.
Right.
It can hurt.
You'll be surprised that. Now I was extremely blessed in Nebraska, where and in the pros for most part, that they always really took more time in group work, getting warmed up. You'll be surprised, especially at the pro level, that how quick they start practice.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's like, hey, coach is here. Let's hit it. We're right in the kickoff, right? That now, what is very important is how you prepare for practice, right? So they give you enough time to get taped, and then it's your job. Say practice starts at 3. Walk through. You better be out there at 2:45 if it takes you 15 minutes or however long to get whatever warm up or whatever you got. Because if you don't, I've seen guys, really, really hurt their career based on a hamstring injury. And this is another thing I want to ask you about is even when I hurt my hamstring in college, I felt it still the second, like a year later. I knew I was fine. How long does it generally take from, say, like a grade 3 hamstring, not off the bone, but say like
just
a
regular tear?
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you at a minimum, we as IR guys, the ortho guys treat the really heavy stuff. Us IR guys do those steroid injections for the one near the pelvis.
Right.
But from whatever I know from literature, at least a minimum of 8 weeks.
Right.
I think that's a very reasonable number to get yourself rested and rehabbed.
Right.
if you go, I mean, look, everybody's got deadlines. If people need this, and people need that. So, but at least an 8-week number is a good number to believe in, and especially for younger athletes. You gotta, if you don't rest it, you're gonna injure other things, right? We talked about this. You'll injure other things.
Yeah, and talk about the one that's a little bit lower in the like down here.
The knee, yeah.
And what activities or what movements generally trigger those?
So lateral movements, anterior movements, right? That's what when people talk about hamstring injuries, the HSI injuries lead to more common ACL injuries, right? And one thing you got to be prepared for is your hamstring is like a protector for the knee, right? That's what it is. Your quads and your hamstring protect the knee. If you have weakness in a hamstring because you came back too quick from rehab, right? You're gonna splint. You're gonna try to protect your knee in other ways because your ACL is much more important, right? And people don't realize that when they try to modify their behavior, their mechanics, the neuromechanics, they're gonna tear that ACL,
right?
And so, I would tell you that the low, like we said, proximal, and those distal hamstring injuries, those affect mostly the knee more.
Knee.
Yeah.
And then, so what are I always say there's a byproduct of it. And, I remember telling you one of the scariest moments when I was probably on like one of my last legs. I still had about a quarter tank left in the tank when I was a career. And I didn't know how I strained my calf. I woke up I practiced. Right? To talk about this, I practiced, right? And it was hot like this. And I jumped in the cold tub, no big deal. And so then I woke up the next morning, I was like, whoa, did I pull something? I wore a calf sleeve. But then he had told me, he was like, you're weak in your hamstring and your quad.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been kind of fighting, I would say a full strain, but it was kind of like, it was an imbalance, right? Talk about that and how it went down my leg.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like neuromechanics, right?
Yeah.
People alter their gait. People alter their mechanics of how they stand to protect from the injury, right? You get your injury, you're going to do everything you can to try to splint away from it.
Right.
I think the biggest worry people have is that, especially for calves and knees, is that when you weaken the top muscles, the lower muscles are trying to hold them up, right?
Sure.
Maybe you had a hamstring injury, but you were trying to compensate with other muscles,
right?
And that can be dangerous. And now, look, calves can be worked all the time.
Right.
You walk upright most of the time. I mean, you can work your calf. I mean, I don't overdo it, but my point is, you can work your calves out. But if you have an injury and then you're working your calves out more and more, you're gonna get those injured too. You're gonna tear the same way the hamstrings tear, the gastrocs and the soleus, they tear the same way.
I wanted to ask you also about it depends on who you talk to,
right?
As far as like training and give me the best answer as possible. You talk to one person, they say you can't train. You can train calves every day, all day you want. You could do it if you work out twice a day. You can do calves. Let's say like arm curls.
Yeah.
Then you have some people that say, listen, if you train, it's just like a muscle. You got to train it 2 or 3 times a week or whatever the regular routine is. What's your opinion on it? Because obviously it's for me, obviously
I know.
It's something that I'm dealing with because I got bad like feet, and I walk on my toes. So you'd normally think, I used to always lean on like my calves would be strong, but part of my rehab that I'm gonna go to PT is calf raises. So it's definitely something that I need some knowledge on.
So I'll tell you this: a lot of trainers say calves are the ultimate, calves and tries, right? Those are the ultimate muscles. You can train them. But if you have any pain, that's your body telling you, right? Your body's telling you, hey, there's something wrong. Stop. I mean, what was that rule? Generally, give yourself a day of rest if you overwork something. People have gone away from, hey, you can train that muscle every day. I don't know if I believe that,
right?
Because I think, remember, micro tears, especially for younger people, I think micro tears are the ways your calves eventually get bigger, right?
Right.
You got to give them time to actually reform themselves. I mean, we're not going to go into biology and anatomy now, but if you have these micro tears, your muscle is going to try to get bigger and bigger.
Right.
But give it time to rest to get bigger and bigger. Fatiguing them over and over again every day. When is it going to rest and grow and heal, right? So I think that's my opinion. I mean, I think your orthos and your PTs, they'll know.
Yeah.
But my belief is you got to give them some time to rest.
And that brings us to NBA Finals. Kristaps Porzingis, He had been out all playoffs, right, Harrison?
Yeah,
and he came back for game 1.
Yep.
Obviously played
Killed
phenomenal.
it. Yep.
Killed it again game 2. But then the turf monster got him a little bit, or the court monster got him a little bit, and he just had a hitch in his giddy up. He didn't have a full flat tire. Looked like he had some run flats or something in there, but he has a calf sleeve on now. If you look, I've been obviously seen him, and he seems to think he could play. Now we've seen it before, right? We've seen it with Giannis, which affected the championship make or break
100%.
year for them. With the Kevin Durant, which I think Kevin Durant was already injured. I do.
Yeah.
I think it was just a matter of time. How if you were to now it's United with the Dallas Mavericks, but with Porzingis, and he had been out for quite some time, and then you come back to game action, which is different. You can't simulate it, and you can't simulate. I always tell you can't simulate the anxiety, which then causes stamina, which then causes dehydration, and then causes stress to your people. People just say, Jay, you don't know what you're talking. Listen, I know. What would you advise Kristaps Porzingis to do? Miss this game, sit out this game, and then come back because you get 3 days rest.
Absolutely.
And then try to get with game 4.
Absolutely. Because his is, I was watching that and I'm going, what did he do? And then I started reading. I didn't get to see the MRI report or anything, but he's got one of the rarest injuries, like a median retinaculum injury.
Yeah.
It's basically where the patella is and down below, and that further injured the calf. I don't know much about this, but I can tell you this: if the patella is involved, or if anything in the calf is involved like this, I'd be very careful.
Right.
I'd rest him and bring him back. Now, I don't think they're going to need him. That's another whole story. But I'd rest it.
Yeah, I mean that's because it's one of those things that triggers. It's weird that one thing I wanted to ask you is guys that would like in the pros, and you see this just because we'd have to watch the injury report. So one of the things I always picked up on, which is obviously very common, is that guys that would have, whether it could be a meniscus tear and have and that's probably a sneaky long recovery, because if you come back too fast, it could lead to other things, or like a MCL, PCL. But then it always seemed like I said, it said to you via text, is that they would come back from that, but then their hamstrings would not be torn off the bone, but then it would be like, oh well, X player, had strained his hamstring, and it'd generally be in training camp, like you said, in practice. Is that an overuse of a muscle that, even though you do the rehab process, you're still not back to where you usually are?
Well, remember I told you how mild, moderate, severe, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Well, if you think about it, grade 2 is actually like less than 50% of the fiber cut, or up to 50% of the fibers of the hamstrings cut, right? Now, if you're sitting in that window, right, and you come back a little bit quicker than you should, you could go to grade 3 very quickly, because your grade 2 is already, fibers are actually cut. They're not strained, they're cut. And if you do something exaggerated in a practice or in some kind of game, you could avulse that. You could cut it full thickness.
Right.
And we talked about my wife's Achilles tear last time, but it's a similar principle. You have low grade tears, right? And then those low grade can become high grade tears. The same thing applies to any muscle.
Right.
You just have to be careful how you the NFL and our pro teams, their doctors are smart doctors. I think they calculate all the risk, but I think they just don't know, because the players don't tell them the fully. You want to be tougher than the next guy,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, you want to answer the bell.
You want to answer the bell. What did Kristaps? He said, what did he say at the TV? He said they'll have to kill him, or he's going to come play. I mean, he could ruin his career forever.
Yeah, and he's had quite a few lower extremity injuries too throughout his career.
Giannis was smart. I think Giannis was smart. He shut himself down, right? Because I think he's looking at duration. Some people aren't that smart.
Yeah,
they'll come back and they'll do something that's going to make it worse for them for the rest of their career.
Now, one more question. I want to ask you about a guy that is, if you ask him, he's very smart. I do think he's intelligent. Anybody that goes to Cal Berkeley and no, I'm going to ask you about my man Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Because remember we asked you last year, and he was saying he was coming back, and I was like, there's no way he's coming back. And it was, now he did have a different procedure.
Yeah, he did.
Which allowed him to recover faster. So he's farther down the road of recovery. But they had an update on, I don't know what network it was on. And I want to ask you about it. I don't think he was hurt. I think it moved down to his heel. I think he had new shoes. He must have got a new sponsorship. It was the shoes and the heel, I think, Harrison. And he did have a little hitch in his giddy up.
Is that did he lead to a plantar fasciitis? Did it go from?
They didn't diagnose him, but there was a video of when they would have to do like a handoff and a rollout, kind of warm up still, and he was gimping a little bit. Now, I want to ask you this from a Achilles injury, and I remember this sometimes when I think I had like my third ankle surgery.
Sure.
At the beginning of practice, it was you remember the old oil can with the yellow brick road. I had to get the blood flowing. Is that going to be part of his deal? Like, it's going to take him a while to get loose and going.
Well, that area is notoriously known to be devascular. I mean, there's not enough blood flow to that area to begin with. That's why you get injuries, Achilles tears. So the question really is, I don't know exactly what injury we're talking about. I would suspect it's something to do with the plantar fascia or the calcaneus.
Right.
Because when they do these repairs, the mid-sump speed bridge is a very unique kind of procedure, right? They do have to do some insertional surgery there. So I wonder what exactly happened. Maybe there's some kind of edema or fluid built up, or maybe he's just because of the tear, because of his Achilles tear, he's walking different, and now he's got his plantar fascia issues.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that, but I bet you it's related to his calcaneus or his plantar fascia.
Yeah, that's always interesting, just because of I remembered doing my rehab.
Right.
I always say it's in a controlled environment. Harrison, they have you do these quick like footwork drills, and you're trying to for me, you got to come back. You want to be healthy. Sign, either stay on the team or sign somewhere. So you're like trying to like show off for the trainer. So you're doing all this stuff. They'll have you do box jumps and one-legged balance and all that. That's great, right? Because you got plenty, but you ain't covering nobody, and you're not actually doing football activities. I didn't do a lot of drops or anything like that. I didn't run any all that stuff. I just wonder if he's at the point right now where you're trying to figure out. It always felt like there's a unique science to being able to play hurt.
Yeah.
And that's what, to be honest with you, Doc, in the pros, you have to be able to play hurt, because you're never going to be fully healthy. Now, you can't play injured, because you would tell and say, Jay, you know what, you're out for 6 months and this, and this.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's where he's going, the process he's going through. And it's a very, some guys can do it very well, and some guys can't. I think Aaron Rodgers would be fine doing it. But for him, being somewhat mobile, being a little bit older, and what they like to do and what he likes to do, off what we call off schedule, that means not in the confines of the play and making a great play and being a Hall of Fame quarterback like he is. I think he's going to struggle with that a little bit, based on whether he came back too early, because he was practicing, versus what he's been doing in his rehab process in a very, very controlled environment. Now you're in mandatory mini camp. Now you have live bullets per se, and you got to go out there and play real football.
We talked about this. I was surprised, like anyone, that how quickly he came back.
Right.
I hope to God his O-line likes him. I hope to God his center because I'll tell you, he's going to need time in his pocket.
Yeah.
Because Achilles tear comes back in 3.5 months or 4, whatever that number was. That's quick.
Yeah, 11 weeks or something.
Something ridiculously. Yeah. I mean, that's a really, really quick return. I hope he really does well, because I like him. I just it's going to be tough, because he's going to be. I think the odds makers are saying that I don't know how long he'll be before his first scare.
Right. Yeah. And
they said it was a deltoid injury on the Pat McAfee show. That's where that news came from. When it comes
deltoid, that's your shoulder.
That's your shoulder.
You ain't gonna limp on your shoulder.
So he's this Pat McAfee, New York Jets quarterbacks, and AP News said he was dealing with deltoid issue, the deltoid main ligament in the inner ankle. Unless the AP News has got that wrong.
No. There are certain ligaments which are okay. I think it's deltoids are the shoulder, but there are some rare ligaments that are in the ankle. That's but they could be that.
The wobbling around they're talking about in practice, how he maybe not isn't fully healthy yet.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Well, that's interesting. I'm still going to bet it's something on the calcaneus or the plantar fascia, but that's maybe they don't want to scare anybody.
Now, I want to ask you this, Doc. If you have a real bad tendon injury on your ankle, on the inner part of your ankle, on both of them, but one,
I wonder who has that one.
I'm trying to think, did it pop that day? I swear to God, I'm going back, did it pop? Like, how long is the rehab when you get surgery?
All right. So if you get surgery, I would think at least 8 to 12 weeks.
How many months is that? 3?
At least 3.
Mm-hmm. And then what's happened after 12 weeks? That means I'm like out of the boot and then I'm back to.
It's the location of your man. Anyway, my point being is I would talk to a good foot doctor. I would make sure that he's on your case.
He's on it.
And then I would tell you, see those guys, make sure they take good care of you.
Yeah, they are too excited for that. Now, my feet are just so jacked that I get protective of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you coming in. Always good knowledge. Man,
we will tell you that now with our the new magnet we have,
right.
we are actually doing quite a bit of tendon and ligament looks. We're
right.
especially for athletes, and that's been quite helpful with the technology we got. So AMI is
AMI is the place to be, man. I will tell you from firsthand experience, it's I was never really a fan of team doctors because they work for the team. No matter what they say, they work for the team. So I was very apprehensive because I went to 10 million places and came in and AMI have taken very good care of me, and they haven't been I would say sometimes places can be selfish.
Right.
And what I mean by that is let me do it, I'll do it, and it's not in the best interest. And they always willing to work with some of the people I know. So, I will tell everybody out there, if you have anything from any type of injury to get medical imaging, they do a great job, job. And they put together a game plan for you to feel healthy. And
appreciate you.
I do appreciate that though. Cause I've had some injuries, Harrison. I will say this, when I hurt my hip, and we haven't even got to that yet, Doc. So I'm gonna tell you right now. Next time. Okay, here's the deal. Okay, so the next time you come, so you can study up on it, we're gonna talk about torn labrum and when we have to get a hip replacement.
All right.
And let me count up the years. We're about 20 years past due.
All right.
It happened 20 years ago.
All right.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about that next. But I would say that's the most painful thing I've ever had in Cleveland. But there's nothing like when you're 48 years old and foot pain, Harrison. When them dogs are barking.
I hope I don't ever find out.
I hope you don't either. Yeah. But anyways, we're going to take a quick break. Come back.
Thanks
again. Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Dr. Finn, Dr. Razan, they do a great job. Plus a great staff over there. We're old school. We'll be right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Haviland. This week's special through June 11th is buy 3 ribeyes, get 1 ribeye free. Also, $1 off all brands of crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out Emerge Zero. Building off the original best-selling Emerge formula, Emerge Zero is a body slenderizing solution that helps blast body fat, curb appetite, and provide the energy you need to get through the day. Emerge Zero can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, some cloud cover this morning will give way to sunshine later this afternoon. We'll see a high around 90. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see sunshine. It'll be breezy and hot with a high around 97. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Gaina Trucking is hiring for heavy equipment operators and a heavy equipment mechanic. Working at Gaina Trucking is a great career with excellent team culture, with benefit package including competitive pay based on experience, health, vision, and dental insurance, and a 401k plan. If you're looking for a new job as a heavy equipment operator or mechanic, apply online at GainaTrucking.com or call 402-794-5000. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Tito's on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman. Harrison's on the ones and twos in for Austin, and DP is here in full effect. We are old school. Brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients, a butcher shop. 3 locations, or actually 2 locations in Lincoln, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill. 1 up there in Omaha in the Metro, 168th and Maple. We are live in effect here at 1040 O Street, the mecca of sports radio in the state of Nebraska. DP read the riot act of, not the riot act, but just laying down the law earlier today.
Oh man!
On the captain show about the lineup.
Oh,
did you hear it, Harrison?
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, I was headed somewhere. He was like, "Hey, listen, I'm just letting you know what time it is." He's like, "I'm taking my lineup. We can just go out there and battle." And you know what's funny? I was watching. I think it came on TB. Was it TBS? Or maybe I saw like a link on Twitter. Was Beach Street, right? And they were playing Jam on It when they started to have they would get together. This is back when we'd go to roller skating rinks, Harrison, way before your time.
Hey, we had one back in Arlington.
Okay,
Shout out Skylon.
Yeah, but were you guys breakdancing though? You had breakdancing crew?
Wedding.
Okay, yeah. That's the same thing
because
they battle in that wedding sometimes, right? The in-laws and outlaws and all that. Well, then they'd get together and that would be their lineup, and they would you had to make sure you had dudes that could really break dance. So that's what DP was like. Listen, my boys could pop a lock on you. So. Anyway.
No, it's real. Like it's a thing, and Harrison has been in enough late nights where we had to explain to people what we were doing, and Harrison has had to hold down the fort for student athletes who come in the door and they're not real sure. And I'll do the first couple of episodes with them to get them comfortable, and then one week I'll just say, swim. It's like Karate Kid. Like one day we out here. Sand the floor. The reality is when I tell you, Danielson, focus, throw hands. Yeah. That's what this is. And we have a lineup from 6 a.m. to 12 midnight that I'll put up against. Go find a station. Go find a station in the country. You go ahead. And I don't care if it's an NFL city. I don't care. There's certainly no comparison in the college sports market. And that includes, I calling y'all out, and y'all can clip this. There ain't no stations in Columbus, Ohio like this. There's no stations in Ann Arbor, Michigan, boo, like this. There's certainly none across the border in Iowa. There's none in Wisconsin. There's none. Like, listen, all the Big Ten schools, no. Go down south. Is there a Georgia station that does what we do in Athens, Georgia? Nope. Sure, and I'll line up against them. I'll take our dudes, I'll take our women, I'll take our talent, and I'll match them up with anybody in the country. And guess what? We could come to your town and kick y'all's tail. I'm not worried about it, right?
Traveling band there. Harrison, you ready to hit the road?
Oh, yeah, we'll do it.
Oh, we can do it old school like they did on wrestling. Where we bring our remotes and we just sit outside of other stations and blare our stuff, right? Like we could just show up like the NWO. And we out here like, listen, let me explain this to you. We take it over. And guess what? There's nothing you can do about it.
That's funny.
I like this crew. I just wanted to say I was proud of it. Of course, Jay, you hold it down, and I'm grateful and appreciative. I have to try. Harrison, what size shoes do you wear?
Like 11s, 12s. Anywhere between there.
See, this is Jay. It
depends on the brand. Sometimes it's a perfect 11. Sometimes it's a 12. It's weird.
Yeah, man, because you got some.
These half-size people mess things up in the world.
I said 11 or 12.
Yeah. No,
I didn't go 11 and a half.
Well, this is the funny thing is that's what half-size people do. I can ask Jay, what size shoes you wear?
And Nike, just 15. The 15.
See, ain't no in between.
Ain't no in between. Yeah, that's the fallback 15.
Yeah, just make them big enough. That's all.
Yeah. What's funny is the cat we was out at Scissors and Scotch. This dude came. He's like, man, He's like, anybody ever told you got big feet?
Yes.
I said, you know what that means, right? He looked at me crazy.
Big,
He was like,
big Adidas.
Yeah. Right. But anyways, you got coming Friday in about 3 days. We're gonna be up there at Blur College World Series DP. It is finally set.
We know.
We'll go through the teams. I saw you tweeted out. I guess it's the SEC, and ACC. It's North Carolina, Virginia. It's easy to say those teams know each other. Then there's Tennessee, Florida State, Kentucky, North Carolina State, Texas A&M, and Florida. Man, they got the market cornered. Florida, I want to ask you about this. I think Nebraska baseball had a very productive year, right? And sometimes when your arms ain't on, and then I think, Florida's arms pitched better than they had, and they got hot with the bats. I mean, heck, when you lose the game, you lose 17-11, you guys say, okay, we just need to pitch better, feel better. What are you taking? I think Florida is on a hot streak right now. Yeah. I mean, I think they're playing I think they're equivalent of a wild card team, and they're making the Super Bowl. Or deep in the playoffs. But it also lets you know, in a lot of ways, how well Nebraska is trending. Obviously, with the Big Ten, obviously being able to look, you dookie down your leg the first game. There's no other way around. Doesn't matter who's pitching, you got the break speed on it. But to bounce back and win it, go in there and really take the task to Florida and be that close. I never got to ask you about it. Obviously, it's been a little bit of time, but Florida making it obviously brings it back up. What are your feelings on how close Nebraska is and maybe what they could do or doing to be a Florida, get hot at the right time, bats, arms, and situation?
Jokingly with Austin, the moment I saw Florida in day one of the regional, and I asked him a question kind of jokingly. I was like, wait a minute. So they don't blood test in SEC and ACC, do they?
Yeah, them dudes look like they just been. I mean, the funny thing is they just look like they just been eating hog mogs, pig feet, and then squatting and like hang cleaning.
Grown man legs.
Yeah,
grown man arms. It doesn't look the same. And I said that because I said when you look at Florida, if you tell me 1 through 7 that's a team that was at the bottom of the SEC, I would tell you bumped your head. Right. What I loved about Florida was that they were gangster at the plate. They swang like it was.
That's the thing. That's what got them into trouble with the poor record too. But when you get hot like that, it works.
Hot bats, man, it is a real thing. And to imagine that they went 500 in the SEC, where you had you had 1, 2, 5, 7, 10, right. Like you had some dudes,
right?
What Nebraska ran into now, and it wouldn't have mattered because no matter if you go to the regional, you're going to find. Look, you're going to get an SEC or an ACC team. That was going to happen. Unfortunately, they weren't playing at home when they did it.
Yeah, and you played a team that was getting hot and healthy at the right time for them in the right time. That's not the best matchup to have.
They chased Oklahoma State out of their own crib.
Easily.
Like that, I mean, to get what it was. So for Nebraska, there's some things that you have to work on. There's some depth issue. And I love the fact we'll be able to, like I talked to Cal Perry for a bit, and he said, it's a perfect exit for him because in his mind, he threw 3 pitches late in that game against Florida, and they all got chopped. Like he was like, oh, tell me that my stuff ain't good enough without telling me my stuff ain't good enough, because he threw 3 great pitches. He
said they got chopped.
Like it was like, wait a minute. Those are out pitches in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Or those are fly balls. One dude went oppo.
And let me ask you this: is that what's more important, right? Retooling the roster and say, okay, we got to go and get maybe a guy that throws instead of coming out of high school, I don't know what, 88, 90 or whatever, or really, really getting the team to understand the learning experience, right? So when I always look at it like this, is like, when you roll into your first training camp, you think you're a big bad dude. you think when you look over there and see Ted Washington, and then you see Jamie Nails, and then you see Reuben Brown, you're like, you know what? Them dudes I was going against in college, they was just average dudes. I need to this is what I need to work on. I need to make sure this part of my body is better for next year. I got to actually, really focus on my flexibility, whatever it is. Do you think, in my opinion, I think that's more important, because if he's preaching something that if we want to catch up, we can't operate like we have every day is bottom of the ninth World Series.
Well,
that type of mentality.
Well, so Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, etc. They're in the gauntlet from day one.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, they're the host towns for teams that want to get out of the Northeast because it's cold.
Right.
And then you got to travel down there and play them on their turf. Again, getting them familiar and staying comfortable. And it's a big deal for Ohio State to go down and play Florida. It would not be a big deal for Florida to travel to Columbus. Not a big deal. We see that. You can throw your ace at us. Your ace, the ace at Ohio State, is probably the number 3 guy at Florida.
So, okay, so now with that being said, Harrison and DB, how do you work around it? Because if you want to make sure that you could possibly get to Omaha, you can't say, okay, well, this is what we have. We have to be okay with it. Or we got to get lucky with, Oklahoma. We got to go earn it.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel there's a way to get out. I think if you try to adopt that, this is what I think. If you try to, and this is the reason why I think it could work, because I saw it happen in the Big Ten in football. When Urban Meyer came, he put together a phenomenal staff, right? He was very motivated and all this other stuff, right? But what he did is he changed the mentality tenfold, and he elevated the Big Ten, which was on the uptick, but he leapfrogged the Big Ten to right there at some years higher than the SEC, but now right there below them, and there is separation between those two. And I think as much as that teams put in more in their recruiting budget and in NIL and transfer portal, the Big Ten benefited off. This is the one positive thing I think he did. I think Urban Meyer lost his way when he got to Jacksonville, and however he left Ohio State is because of the coach. I think he changed the mentality at that time, 1 through 14. Now, some were slow to the process, but for the other teams, he said, listen, I am coming straight from Florida, and I'm showing you how we did it, how they recruited, right? How they pushed the players, the standard, and more importantly, the mentality, because you got to think he brought it from Utah because the way that they pimp slap Alabama down there in the Sugar Bowl, but it went to another level at Florida, and then he brought it to Ohio State, where Ohio State could say, okay, you want to go score for score? I can do that. If you want to go and play up in the snow, I can do that. If you want to play on a bowl game when I actually get 3 weeks or whatever it is to prepare for you, I will out-coach you, and then I'll situational football you to death. I can do that. I think if you adapt that or adopt that, I think you could change your program just as fast.
Well, I mean, Urban went in and cleaned Utah. So that Utah transition happened pretty quickly.
Sure.
And the philosophy, that verbiage. But his thing was, and you may not like this, but Urban said, it's not the young people, it's the coaches.
Right. That's the mentality.
He said, listen, every day, off season or in season, I'm going to challenge the coaches. You got to win your day every day. Every day.
Right.
Listen, and think about it, if you've got those types of coaches, the level of, and his coaching tree from Utah was pretty strong.
Oh, yeah.
That if you're putting those coaches against each other every day, the players see how hard the coaches are working.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna copy what you see.
And every day,
leadership
every day he would report. Wide receivers had a great day against cornerbacks. Cornerbacks, you got your tails kicked. Get better today. Tight ends against safeties. This is how it matched up. This is the grade. And it started with the coaches standing up front, being held accountable for it.
Right.
And listen, for a player to have your coordinator get up there, the offensive coordinator getting chewed out in front of the defensive coordinator because his boys thumped your behind yesterday.
Yeah.
How are you going to get better? And one, not only point it out, but to make them accountable and say, what are you going to do to fix it?
Right.
And that was how he changed Utah. They didn't all of a sudden get better players.
No,
Alex Smith was the third quarterback sitting on the bench holding a clipboard. But under the new leadership, Alex Smith was like, "Oh,
yeah, I think
we work it."
I think it's the mentality. It's the mental. Like the thing that he did really, really well, and this is what Coach Osborne did really. This is what all great coaches do. Nick Saban does it all the time too. And there's that story about Nick Saban where he would never change his practice before kids went home before a bowl game. If it's at 4:00, it's at 4:00. I don't care who it is or what. I guess there was a kid that had to go to California, and so he didn't change the practice time. He changed a little bit of it to where Lane Kiffin could get him in and 9 on set or goal line, short yardage, and there was one flight out. Well, then Nick Saban got on the phone and made it happen. Like, hey, you holding this plane? This dude got to go to California so he can get back so we can go win a national championship, right? But it's the standard and the mentality change of what's to be expected day in and day out. So if you're like, you can't, I always say you can't be circumstantial, right? And I coach, with, my players. Either you're going to be demanding 100% of the time or you can't be it all the time. So that means if you're demanding the best out of the coaches, then you can demand the best out of the players. But what he did when he came to the Big Ten is that he sent shockwaves through the whole Big Ten, the way he attacked recruiting, the way he attacked changing the mentality in Ohio. Because before he got there, people thought Ohio State was soft. They had really good individual players, but could never match up to a physical white knuckle game. You know what I mean? Because they would have, the funny thing is that it was Ohio State and Tennessee. They would go, say, 9-3, 10-2, and have like 10 guys drafted in the first 2 rounds. How do you lose? How do you lose to teams like that? So what he did was, I feel he changed how everybody else had to operate because he wasn't changing. There's tons of stories where I was talking about that. Terry McLaurin, who's the number 1 receiver for the Washington Commanders, went to Ohio State's camp. The wide receiver coach at the time thought they needed to offer him the best guy at the camp by far. Maybe he dropped a couple, and I think maybe Urban didn't like the way he caught the ball or whatever it was. And Urban calls him in there and it was like, I'm not going to offer you a scholarship. I don't think you're good enough. But you know what? If you go back and you say you run this in the 40 and you catch, 300 balls and you catch it more and you come back, I'll let you know. He didn't turn the page too quick, but that's the standard that he already set in that kid before he even got on campus, right? He also set the standard, with that coach Smith, is that, yes, you probably are right, but we're going to do it at the right time. And so I think that's what if you could do that maybe in baseball and looking at them dudes, okay, we need to start a little early. Maybe we need to keep going a little bit later.
Yeah, I think you need to set the standard in the Big Ten right now.
You got a chance to do, right?
Yeah, you turn up the heat. You just won it this year. You look at Penn State; they just lost 8 dudes in the transfer portal. Nebraska, you got a lot of guys coming back. I think we only got 3 guys in the portal for Nebraska baseball right now. Like, if you want to become respectable, you got to turn up the heat in the Big Ten, and then naturally you'll create that gauntlet. Like, you have to be the team that's going to elevate the standard in the conference, because the Big Ten's 3? You're going to go SEC, ACC, Big Ten. You might even try to argue Pac-12,
right?
But it's got. Nebraska right now.
Big 12. Big 12 is legit. Like, let's be clear. Nebraska's issue is Nebraska, in whatever sport we're talking about, Nebraska accepts. Nebraska accepts. And I'm just not a member of the accept less is okay world.
Accept.
Like, I just don't like, wait a minute, we'll both, like, what if you're a Texas guy and you have access, there's enough Texas players where you can build and beat everybody in the Big Ten Conference. And the mission is to beat everybody in the Big Ten Conference. I'm not trying to get by in the Big Ten Conference. I need the Big Ten Conference to help me prepare for the region at home, because I'm thumping everybody. And anything else, I don't understand. I'm not losing to Creighton. I'm sorry. I'm not losing to Creighton. I'm not losing to Omaha. Listen, my jaw dropped. I watched Georgetown, who has a third, maybe 25% of the resources that Nebraska has. And Edwin Thompson got 35 wins out of a group of guys that if you saw them walking down the street, you'd say my high school team could beat them. They went to Omaha, swept Creighton immediately after Creighton had just beat Nebraska. There's a way to get done what needs to get done. Take the step. Like whatever that step is, take the steps. I need to beat Creighton in Omaha, and I need to be dominant in the Big Ten. If that's more arms, I have resources, and I need to focus. If they're bigger bats, I have resources. Tell me what the number is. Know what the number is. Ohio State and Michigan figured out, hey, 23 million is a number that makes us in the conversation for winning a national title. What is our number? What's Nebraska's number in any sport? And if you don't know it, you're not trying. And you're certainly not going to achieve. You're accepted.
Yeah, I mean, that's 23 mil. Let's see how that 23 mil.
And you know that 23 mil is really 30.
Let's see how it works.
It's really 30.
Let's see how that works.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out real soon. But what we're going to do before that is we're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to jump into a little off-season news. We're going to do some NFL stuff and then see what it's like right now, Harrison, these mandatory mini camps. Jay Foreman, DP Harrison, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com. Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Tito's on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at KoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Hey kids, what are you getting your ever-loving dad for Father's Day?
I know, a motorized monster truck. How about the new Taylor Swift album? You would love it.
Yeah, I'm sure. How about something from Osted's Golf? Name brand apparel up to 50% off. Strixon balls at crazy deals. And Dad's always love an Osted's gift card.
You have been putting a lot of balls in the water.
Not after my custom fitting. I'm smashing everything.
You're good at that with a monster truck. Shop Osted's Golf for Father's Day.
The Osted family would really appreciate it.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402 434-2222.
Hey, Nebraska! Register today for the 40th Annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel with Gatorade. Brought to you by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln, a proud partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
The 31st Annual Testicle Festival, Saturday, June 15th at Round the Bend Steakhouse, just off I-80, exit 426. Swing out 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. for live music, cold beer, and of course, nuts. Visit roundthebendsteakhouse.com for more.
Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and they need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to the UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin games. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red. Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, DP, Harrison on the ones and twos. Great segment there. But College World Series coming up. We'll be up there Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. CWS all day long on the ticket with Blur. We knocked it out of the park last year. Also, we had a one thing that came up with a little side note was made the first initial connection with the Omaha Supernovas. They had the young lady up there that was handing out cards.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a former Nebraska player, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, you got the champs. So relationships and business partnerships are made right when we're up there at CWS, and so it's going to be bigger and better this year.
Got lots to do. It's going to be hot, though, and it's supposed to rain, so yay.
That means it's going to be muggy.
Right.
Yeah, hydration situation.
Although I do need to get their misting system.
It was good.
That misting system that they have in under the tent.
Yeah.
Is the MB Harrison, you didn't come up.
I was on the board back here.
This misting.
It was phenomenal.
Bro, I need this at the crib.
Yeah, it was good.
Blur Events takes care of you.
Yeah,
it always looks like a damn good time.
Yeah, they do a really good. And it's, man, they're like, they put, because we were up in Colorado, they put it up for the Colorado Nebraska. They put it up in it's like doing a concert, and then they just are so efficient. There's no time wasted. Boom, 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 boom. Also from the text line here, baseball, they need to raid the Kansas JUCO League. Those kids have 350 at-bats against great competition before they set foot on a campus. There you go.
Well, I mean,
I agree.
Texas travel ball is so top-notch that there are 500 high school players who play high repetition, high quality, highly competitive baseball. And if I get the understanding to watch for it, but what it doesn't tell me is, what is your plan of attack? Are you a starting pitcher coach? Do you need 5 arms? Do you need 5 dart throwing, laser beam starters? Lights out, because that's what everybody else has. In the SEC, they have 5. And if their records are 500, they're still better than the 8-3 dude in the Big Ten.
Yeah, because you're going to lose.
Right.
You're playing competition too good.
Right. If you need power hitters, they're out there. You have to go get them. Again, it's a matter of, I said it earlier, how you use resources is the difference between you being a program of note. John Cook is exceptional at utilizing and maximizing resources. Mark Manning, again, you don't hear about NIL and recruiting dollars and all that. Nope, it is development, and he utilizes the talent at the highest level possible. Like, we understand the Bolden program, again, Starr just showed up. Kayla Starr just showed up. She's #1 bowler in the country. The 2 bowlers this program got rid of, are winning on the Pro Women's Tour right now. So there's a way, but we get caught up in the most important program in this state. That's a fair statement, that the football program is the most important program. It makes all of the other programs go. And the success that's there or not there sets the tone for how everybody else does business. And if you tell me that you need to build a brand new facility for several $1 million, what you better also tell me is, are they going to become winners because of it? And if they're not, you put the wrong thing first. Because that money, if you had been patient 2 years, you'd be looking at a whole new roster. But some decisions are made. I'm not questioning. I'm not in the room.
Right.
But
there's no guarantee that you would be able to build a roster.
You'd be surplus cash.
They got money.
They do have money, don't they, Jay? And what you doing with that money?
I don't know, but I know that. I mean, I don't think it's a money thing. I think it's timing. For whatever reason, I think it's the ghost of Lawrence Phillips, man, and Frank. I'm telling you, I'm big into that. I told a kid hey, listen to Harrison. I told a kid that wasn't hitting no shots.
I just bumped my head. I just bumped my head on what Jay Foreman just said.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Hey, Eric.
Wait, whether you like it or not, this is what I say.
I need to hear it.
I'm about to tell you. Okay. I got to tell you a funny story, though.
Okay.
We down in Norman.
Mm-hmm.
We had a kid that he didn't come to practice because he wanted to go do something, right? Because I think school got out. And he couldn't hit the broad side of a barn. I called timeout. I said, yeah, that's why the basketball guys is in your you know what. Because you ain't come to practice and you ain't no shot. He said, Coach, what's the basketball guys? I said, I don't know. I said, it's just on you right now. So anyway, listen, here's what I think. This is honestly God truth. I think it's jokingly and somewhat seriously. And if you believe in it or not, I just think that those two situations aren't direct. It's indirect. I think it's timing has affected Nebraska in the worst way possible. And you always maybe it's because of that, or maybe it's just bad timing and just things don't add up right. Why? You hire Bill Callahan, right? And the option or whatever seemed like it was dead because you got the brakes beat off you by one of the best teams ever in USC, and they turned off, was it USC or Texas? And they turned the TV. USC?
You're talking USC.
Yeah, at home. They we went over at halftime, 42-0. Right? So now we need to pass the ball because we got to be them. So we hire a coach who, after we had interviewed 45 million candidates, he comes in and wants to run West Coast and pro-style offense with option players. Now, granted, eventually the recruiting was there and we had a lot of pro players on the roster. The defense wasn't very good. But lo and behold, Urbano, Jerome, Urban Meyer goes from Utah to Florida, and guess what he does? He runs the same option offense that was ran here when things changed, when you changed it. But all he did was, now he did more than this, right? And he recruited and developed and changed it. But then he took the fullback and displaced it. And then he just gave a non-really throwing quarterback more room and ran it out of the pistol / shotgun after Chris Leak took over. That's all he did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, he had athletes and all that. Let's just take that, right? So that's bad timing there. Then also, during that change, it became a huge, like, then you start having ESPN2. You started playing some games on ESPN News and 3. And then you had FS1, So then you started. So for guys that normally would come here and wait to play at Nebraska, could go and play at like Western Kentucky and all these other schools and play right away. So that's just bad timing. It has nothing to do with what Nebraska. It has nothing to do with anything I mentioned that goes to the past and all that other stuff. So you've been on the wrong side of it. Then you think, and I'll give them credit, or give them like not credit, but factual realness, that when you hire and you had to hire, and it was the only hire, you can't judge the hire that you made when you had to make it, because he was the number one choice. Scott Frost, along with Bill Moose, you allowed, and it was a normal practice then, to purge the roster and go young. The problem is this: you had Michigan on the uptick, and even though they were in the down, going through trying to figure out how to get over Ohio State, Penn State was rolling, and all the other schools already had somewhat more of a tradition of winning. Then COVID hits. You can't send kids in that, and then you don't know how to win. And then once you hit the line running, boy, the clock was just, hey, when they used to watch the like cartoons and that clock used to get louder and stuff before the time, then that was it. I'm not making excuses. I'm just being real.
Here's my thing. There were a lot of programs with less resource and less talent on the roster than Nebraska, and they managed to win games. Some of them even went to bowls, and some of them even got fancy and went to the Final Four in football. Like, to tell me that Kansas State and TCU have figured out magically,
right?
They're just they're magicians. They've done it. No,
you can't put TCU in there. That was like a one-hit wonder. Kansas State,
but Nebraska hasn't been a one-hit wonder. There's a way.
I'm agreeing with you, but I'm talking about where we're at. Though.
Kansas State, one-hit wonder. Wouldn't Nebraska would make some real deals for a one-hit wonder right about now?
You would?
For what to get out of the stink?
Give you one of my fingers just for one of my teams to win here.
Like that's
for 1 year.
I mean, yeah, as long
for
as
1 year, and then you go right back. That's what you willing
guaranteed
to do?
To go back? Then I'm keeping my finger.
Well, Kansas State didn't go back,
but TCU did.
TCU did, but TCU, their NIL numbers doubled over that year.
Right.
Doubled.
And they was garbage. So I'm asking. We're going to break. I want you two to think on it. We're going to break. You instead of Judge Joe Brown, this is Judge Jay Foreman. Anyway, we'll take a quick break. Come back. I'm putting them two on the hot seat. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Haviland. This week's special through June 11th is buy 3 ribeyes, get 1 ribeye free. Also, $1 off all brands of crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Is it time to replace your AC? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates, and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important, though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call for a free estimate. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
In a world where businesses are facing daily cyber threats, you need protection like never before. Don't let hackers and malware companies compromise your business success. Stay ahead of data breaches with Hamilton Cybersecurity. Let Hamilton provide you with peace of mind that your business is protected. Our experts identify and mitigate risks before they become disasters. As your trusted partner, we help you protect your valuable information. Hire your local cybersecurity experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at KoppelCars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, some cloud cover this morning will give way to sunshine later this afternoon. We'll see a high around 90. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low around 66. And tomorrow, we'll see sunshine. It'll be breezy and hot with a high around 97. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clark for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and they need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to the UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin games. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey, Nebraska! Register today for the 40th annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel with Gatorade. Brought to you by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln, a proud partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Tito's on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
Play ball! Ready to unleash the fun with Salt Dogs Baseball? Join us at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed games running through August. Stay ahead of the game by visiting saltdogs.com for updates on exciting promotions, giveaways, and events happening each week. Experience a change-up from your typical family night, or make it a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers. Strike three, you're out! Don't miss the fun happening all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. I'm putting them on the hot seat, folks. Harrison and DP. The question: would you sell your soul for your team What's your Nebraska team? What's your favorite? What sport?
My favorite, I have football for sure.
Okay. Just whatever. For one winning season, or would you stay patient to have winning seasons? Are you so desperate right now you're willing to do like the?
Well, if I can just stay patient and win multiple seasons, then I'll be patient. But the reason
I'm talking about next year. You want TCU, right? And then you get mollywopped the next year, or do you want Kansas State and you're more sustainable? They're kind of both in the
obviously
same
want Kansas State. Why I say chop off my finger and you can take it is NIL checks are going to dry up. If I'm a shareholder, I want to stop giving money. It's going to start frustrating me.
Hey, Harrison, here's a question for you. What has to happen for you to win 2 consecutive years in a row?
2 consecutive years in a row?
What's the first thing that has to happen? You got to win 1 year.
Yeah.
That long-term stuff ain't possible if you don't figure out a way to get it done once. Period.
There you go.
Listen, miss me with the long-term goal.
Yeah.
Look, if I figure out, it's much easier for me to get to the penthouse of Amari in the building. Stand outside looking up at the top, going, wow, that's pretty. That's what it'll get you. Win one first. That's
there you go, Harrison. He would give his soul for one winning season.
I have a plan for winning 1 year. I don't have to give up my soul to do nothing. I just have to figure out how to win. That's win.
Right.
Win. How do you win?
But do you think TCU knows how to win?
They can say they do because they played in a national championship game.
I know, but do you think I'm asking
I think they'll be.
I think they just
pleasantly slowly coming back. They lost a ton.
Do you think they're going to bounce back like
They'll
so you saying they're?
I'm not saying they're headed to the chip, but I'm saying they're not going to be like last year. They didn't even make a bowl game. I don't think. I think they went from national championship to not a bowl game.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you lose the quarterback. He was.
Are they giving back all the money they made for the year they went to the championship?
Nah, they're chilling.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Them dudes better go back and get some of them NIL checks though.
Okay.
Them dudes on that team, I need to get some of that. I need to get that. Like Denzel said, I'm leaving with something.
I'm going in the winner's locker room. You can them wannabes and spectators. Y'all go ahead.
You're gonna be up in there until Georgia comes.
Hey man, that's okay. That's okay. Won't be but 2 of us in the room, and I'm gonna throw some blows. I can't throw no blows standing outside the parking lot.
I like to watch that. You know what I'm saying? Get in there with Islam or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways. Great show today. We're gonna end this show, man. 1040 O Street.
No, we got one more, man. We got rapid fire here. Come on, 4 seconds.
All right.
Guess that.
4 seconds.
All right. Old school. DP, Jay, Harrison. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
We're out of here. You're listening to Old School with DP and Jay. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your liberty and freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to defending the liberty and pursuing justice for those accused. Going to court is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we carry that burden for you. When legal troubles are keeping you up at night, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, wrap things up quick here on Old School. Jay's leaving the building here, but we'll get set up for Ticket Weeknights real quick. We still got DP here, but don't go anywhere. We got Walk On Weekly. We got Jeff Grace III. He'll be in here with me talking some NBA Finals. And then, of course, we'll keep going. Don't Punt Hour with Mornay Pearsonell. We got Chancellor Brewington. And then stick around for one-on-one with DP, as DP will have a former NBA forward as well. So plenty of things here left on Ticket Weeknights. And again, be sure to stay tuned in because it goes all night long here. So again, Harrison Arns, the DP in studio with me as well. And we will talk to you guys again later here in a little bit.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through June 11th is buy 3 ribeyes, get 1 ribeye free. Also, $1 off all brands of crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.